Welcome back everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about opportunities for under $500,000 in Sydney, or you can say Sydney or Western Sydney. And the locations I'm talking about are sort of the suburbs of Auburn and Barella. And the reason I'm covering this video is because after traveling for a bit and watching a podcast about Auburn and Barella units and saying that there's incredible value about them, I just wanted to deep dive into these locations and show you the possible opportunity with them and whether or not it fits your investment criteria, because it's always important to bring it back to your own personal strategy. And those of you who are not from Sydney, Auburn and Barella are about 40 to 50-ish minutes away from Sydney CBD, and some people say a slightly rougher area compared to the suburbs of like Homebush, Strathfield, etc., and Lickham, and so on. And Auburn and Barella are one of those locations where you can find properties like this, these red brick units for under $500,000 that can yield pretty well and can give you a really good entry into the property market if this is the sort of asset that you're looking for. And the reason you might say why there is value in opportunities like this is because when you start to compare them to houses in the nearby area. For example, if you were to simply search up Barella, look at the recently sold properties and look at the houses that are being sold there. I mean, this little 4x2 on 300 square meters of land is selling for 1.2 million. You scroll down, this one is selling for 2.3 million. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you see this fibro house with plenty of land, mind you, but the interior is an absolute shamble. Something like this sold for $1.7 million, which is completely out of reach for most local residents in that area, and yet it still gets sold. And when you look at units like this being sold for less than $500,000, it is actually incredible value in that sense, right? But the real question is that actually going to equal to capital growth, and when can we actually expect that? Because otherwise you might be sitting on an asset that's not going to grow for the next 12 to 24 months. And that's sort of where I really think we are at this stage. But like always, let's go through the data first, because it's important to understand what is happening in terms of the microeconomic. And just before I do get onto that, guys, if you haven't already, jump into the private community. We have close to 270 members helping each other out on a daily basis, breaking down different locations, suburbs, investment assets, and also fine-tuning your investment goals to your strategy and helping you find the right asset to actually purchase. I break down deal reviews for you guys. I go through suburb fundamentals, growth drivers, red flags. There are property templates, resources, and analysis tools that you can utilize to help fast track your property journey. Guys, I have made property education and support and mentorship affordable. There is no one else in the market that does what I do for a better price, right? Jump in, you can try it out for a month. If you don't like it, you can leave anytime. It's a simple subscription service just like Netflix. So cancel that Netflix for a month, get in the community, get the help you need, buy the asset that you need, and then continue on with your life, because property is a passive investing game. You don't need to do it for long. Now let's get back to the video. Now let's have a look at the data. When we look at Auburn units, you can see the houses have a median buy price of $1.5 million, while when you look at the units, you have a median buy price of $570,000. Now you can find units anywhere from about $480,000 that are ready to be rented out to all the way about $600,000-$700,000, and you find the yields anywhere from around 5% to 6.5%. And you can actually see that units have been rising steadily over the past 12 months. You have seen 6% growth, which isn't massive by any means, but it's definitely something to notice, because we expect units to not grow at all, generally speaking. But we can see that units are starting to grow here. Now, rents have been a little bit soft, but when we look at the fundamentals of it, this is where it gets a little bit concerning regarding Auburn units. Number one, you have a lower socioeconomic area, which isn't a deal breaker. A lot of lower socioeconomic areas right across Australia have grown tremendously in value. However, the renter to owner occupier ratio is 50% and the unit to house ratio is 58%, which is the more concerning part of it. Now, the thing with Auburn is when you start to look at the units, there are actually a number of high-rise or medium to high-rise units in that area which are being sold. And you know the fundamental economics of capital growth. If there is more supply than there is demand, we're going to get limited capital growth, right? And then alongside these sort of higher rise and medium-sized apartments, you get these low-rise, low-density blocks, but then there will be a price discrepancy. For this to be $650,000, this makes a lot of sense for this block to be around $480,000, $490,000, $500,000, because this one is a modern, more nicer block, recently developed, while this is an older red brick unit that's a little bit older on the interior. And that's sort of one of the first concerns that you'll hit straight off the bat. You not only have to look at the realestate.com, you can actually just look at the maps itself, and you can see that a lot of these red brick units are built and stacked side by side with a lot lot of them. So there actually is a decent amount of supply in this area in terms of red brick units and medium to high rise units. And you may get more in the future because Auburn actually has a station that has a direct line to the city CBD, which makes transport very easy, but also gives rise to more medium to high rise density apartments. So that's the first call out I sort of want to make with the proposition that Auburn units have value. They do, but they also have major trade-offs to consider. And you can see, even though Auburn units are relatively on the sort of softer price point of 550, the affordability is already being a little bit stretched. You can see around 35 years. And also when you look at the microeconomics, you can see that stock levels are not really trending in the right direction, but demand is actually decently strong, with most units being sold within 60 days or 2 months. And overall inventory is still pretty low, less than a month or so, which is pretty good. But the suburb that I'm more interested in isn't Auburn, but the nearby suburb of Barella. Now, when you start to look at Barella, its metrics are much better in terms of the overall aspect of it. Median buy price of 500,000, yields of 5.5% or thereabouts. Growth has been happening over the past year with about 5% growth, pretty good to see. And when we start to scroll down, the fundamentals are better. You got a slightly better area of an ersatz score of 3. The rented to owner occupier ratio is 40%, so less renters in that area. And the unit to house ratio is 31%. So there's actually a lot less units compared to Auburn than there is in Barella, which is really important. And affordability is under 30 years. So very, very affordable. And you guys can also spend a bit of time looking through Barella as a suburb, and you can start to scroll and you can see where the units are sort of congregated, townhouses, the red brick units, for example, but there aren't as many as you do find in Auburn. Now, with Barella, you don't have as a direct train line to the city CBD, but you get to Barella, you change at Lickham, huge suburb, and then you get to the city, right? So not too far away from the city CBD as well, and has a decent train line connection. Now, this is really important because when there are less units available, it makes these red brick units much more lucrative, and where the 490 price tag can make sense for you as an investor and as a PPOR even possibly, apart from being also a slightly better area. And instead of buying $1.7 million house that has filled with asbestos, cockroaches and more, you could purchase a nicer red brick unit like this. And it's not only good to just show you the opportunities available to you investors, but actually to run the numbers, because it's really important to do so. Let's take this Barella unit for example. This one was sold for $490,000. If you put that in, you're going to get stamp duty about $18,000 in New South Wales, much better than Victoria and South Australia. And you look at the deposit amount. If you put about a 10% deposit, you're going to only need about $75,000, which is very achievable for most single people and dual income people to save up and put that money together to create a deposit to fund this purchase. And when you start to look at the rental return, you're going to get about 520, 550 for a 2x1, 520 again. So you're going to get a comfortable 520. I'm going to put 530 to be nice. And you're getting about a 5.6% yield straight off the bat, which is very good. Home insurance, council insurance, water rates, etc. You don't have stamp duty, which is great in New South Wales. You're going to have a decent body corp of around 2K or more, which is important to factor in as well. And so when you put all the numbers together, you're only really negative about $6,000 to negative $4,000 per year in terms of actual cash flow. And that is actually a very easy amount of money to actually hold on to an investment asset, when other assets right throughout Australia, you're negative $10,000 to $20,000 easily. And if you put a bigger deposit, you'll have a smaller price to pay month on month, but obviously you need the bigger deposit. So in terms of cash flow, it's quite good. In terms of your price point to enter into a market for a decent red brick unit that has plenty of value, this is actually a reasonable suggestion to look at. But there is one more thing that I want you guys to consider. Now, if you are an investor out there buying units, you have less chance of strong capital growth. And I know everyone is going to point to Brisbane CBD and how it performed amazingly, right? Sydney is not Brisbane. Barella is not the same as Brisbane CBD. Now, there may be value in some similarities. However, you have to ask yourself, is now the right time to enter this market? Because for $490,000, you could go out and also purchase a townhouse in Albury, for example. I've hopped onto this point many a time. This one here sold for $440,000 in 12th of Jan 2026. You get a much bigger land component. You get a decent townhouse. It will also rent out for similar or a little bit less, but it's still a great opportunity. And you get much bigger land component, more chance of stronger capital growth because there is strong demand in Albury. And Albury Wodonga is an established regional hub in New South Wales. Now, this location has about 100,000 people. It's a huge location, and you get a townhouse compared to a low density red brick unit, and for a little bit cheaper as well. And this will also appreciate long term in value and give you a better chance of capital growth in my eyes, because there is less supply of these compared to those units in Barella and Auburn. And so if you're an investor, you have a bit of a serious choice to make between this unit and a low density townhouse in a major regional hub. And I see more value and more opportunity for growth in that townhouse than I do see in this unit. Now, this unit may grow in time, but right now, with the market momentum in Albury Wodonga, you have a better chance of getting into that townhouse, letting that grow in value, especially off the lag effect of the house price growth, than you do of those units. And that's a serious consideration for you as an investor to take into consideration. But for first home buyers or PPOR people or people who want to utilize a 5% deposit scheme, this could be an excellent opportunity for you guys to actually get into the market. Because if you take that $490,000 and instead you put a 5% deposit and you don't have stamp duty anymore, well, you only have to put up $30,000 between a single person and two people. That's extremely affordable. Now, of course, you won't have the rental incomes for the first 6 to 12 months. You're going to be out quite a bit of money, but after that, you could rent it out again. But then you could end up having a 5 to 6% yield property without having to pay stamp duty and without having to put a large deposit. Or you could live in it, dual income people, and you could pay this asset off extremely quickly. So it ultimately really depends on strategy. But if you're an investor out there, from what I see from a value standpoint, I would prefer to purchase the townhouse in a well-established, low-density area that has a limited constrained supply than I would an apartment like this. But of course, it all comes down to strategy, your risk appetite, and your overall desire to purchase in certain locations. Don't get me wrong, guys. I think eventually there will be a time where these apartments do grow in value, but right now might not be the best time. And there is other reasons for that. I can also touch on it. If you look at, Auburn units, Barella units, you can buy red brick ones for $500,000. Sure. In Lickham, you have nicer apartments going for $650,000, and Homebush Strathfield around $700K. If you look further up, you've got like all these new apartments in Wentworth Point and Rhodes reaching around $708 to $1 million, right? So it really doesn't make sense for all these Barella units and Auburn units to suddenly become $800,000 when you can pick up a much nicer asset in Wentworth Point, for example. So that's just another thing to consider when looking at this asset and whether or not now is the right time to get into the market. I'm sure there will be an opportunity eventually, but value for money wise, I think there may still be opportunities in other locations. But of course, do your own due diligence, make sure it fits your strategy, talk to the people that you need to talk to, and make a smart decision. Till next time, thank you very much.